All right, let's talk about a couple little topics just to see what's on your mind this morning, and then we'll get going into the game. I got a little story to tell you, as I always do. Every morning I got a story to tell you. So this is good. This is good. I think reading and bouncing off of everything is in chat is the easiest thing about streaming, even while gaming. Not getting bored with the trash games out right now. It's hard, but it's hard part streaming. Yeah, I mean it is. Here's the thing, like it's hard sometimes to read things, and I know sometimes people do typos, or when it's not like people are writing complete sentences a lot of times when they put stuff in. So especially when it's anything longer than like two sentences, let's say, for me I struggle because I'm trying to read it with the punctuation or with the way that the person is saying, and then I mess up and I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not what they meant. And so I have to like stop or read it slower. When it's like for example, oh, Jesus Christ, no more books for me in chat. Exactly. When it's something simple, like a one-liner or something, or two lines, I can just kind of read it and paraphrase it. And I think that's the difference with reading off a stream. Like I like reading off a stream. But whenever anybody, I'm not calling anybody out Soul Earth, but if anyone puts like a whole freaking book there for me to read, it's kind of hard. Like I'll read it still, but it's going to just take me a little bit longer to read through it. And there are times when it depends on the discussion. If we're talking about something that's a little bit more heavy and people are giving their opinion, I might not read their entire, like I'll read it for me, but I won't read it out loud. And then I'll paraphrase what they're saying. And then, I'll either agree or not agree or whatever. It's just easier that way sometimes rather than like stumbling over words. Half the time, Nord has us in chat sending 5-line messages, so it's hard to balance gaming plus streaming. Gaming plus reading chat, I mean, yeah. For me, I feel bad sometimes when I'm playing, especially like Division or any game that we have a part in the game where we have to focus for a moment. So I won't see chat for a little bit. And then, then I'll go back to it. I'll stop and I'll be like, oh, let me catch up on chat. I mean, hey, listen, I'm a small streamer. I mean, if I'm lucky, I get like 15 people in here. You know what I mean? And that's fine. It's funny because my VODs are getting seen, are like the people that follow me that can't be here, they're actually watching them after hours. I noticed that. Like, I'm like, oh, look at everybody that knows me watching my VOD. Like, and then what's funny is I can tell which ones are not going to be VODs that people are going to watch. Like I know once I put it up, I'm like, not that many people are going to watch that one. Or people don't watch them until the next day. They won't watch them at night. Nobody watches my stuff at night unless they're in Australia and they're just waking up, or if they're like in the UK and it's like, excuse me a second, I got a call coming in. Hello. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take that call. All right. Anyways, where was I? Nord, your height doesn't determine the size of your stream. Oh, damn it. Here we go. Shit, can I at least finish my coffee before I start getting the short jokes? Damn, bro. Okay. I'm trying to fix my mic here. I like it in a certain place. Do not take that out of context. Freaking A. Okay, so let me tell you a little story real quick. Let me know if this ever happened to you. Amongst other things, my craziness and whatnot, I feel that I'm a pretty good humanitarian. Stop laughing. It's true. Damn it. I am a humanitarian. I believe in the people. I'm a people person. I just don't like to be out with them all the time, but that's okay. From time to time, I come across situations that really, well, you are human. Yes. You know what I mean? I care about people. So from time to time, I come across situations where we don't know how to deal with and how it affects us. And then we're trying to solve it. And yesterday I went to the supermarket to pick up a couple of things. I normally go to this one that's easier to get to. So I go to this other one that's like, you are who you are. Everyone's just there to get their groceries. Nobody cares what you look like or what you're wearing. It's not a fashion freaking show. It's a store to get your food. And so that's why I like that place. So anyway, so I go there yesterday and I'm going through the aisles. I noticed this young man, he's probably about 15, and the little girl, probably about 6, and the brother and sister, and she's pointing out like the food. Oh, what about this? What about this? He's like, no, you can't have that. You can't have that. And he's like really, really nice to her. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Probably taking care of her while mom's shopping or whatever. Now, I have to say this, and I'm not sure if this is the right statement, but they were kind of like bohemian looking, earthy, crunchy granola people. They're like surfers that live off the land. It felt like. So I then find another set of kids down in other aisles, and they look just like the other kids. And so I'm like thinking they're related. And they were also running around kind of looking at everything, and they looked at things on the shelf. They were checking prices, and they're like, no, you can't get that. And so there was a lot of that going on. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're doing and it's school time, so I'm thinking, why aren't they at school? So then I get to the aisle for chips. I'm looking for pretzels for my kids, and I see them all jump in there like, yeah, let's just get chips. And so they go over to get chips, and they start looking at the different bags. At this time, I'm starting to wonder if these kids are homeless or they're on their own. They're struggling, so I'm not sure. And I want to approach them and like help them, but at the same time, I don't want to be that creepy old guy that approaches kids. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm just going to do my thing. But it seemed like every aisle I went to, they were there. So then I noticed finally this man walks up with a shopping cart that has, has one of those shopping carts where you put your babies in and the baby drives a little car. So anyway, so his child is in there. He has another child that's in there. And that child is probably about a year and a half or so. He comes by and he also looks like kind of surferish boat kind of dude. Just a regular guy, shades, bit of a beard, bit disheveled. He has a hat on, shorts, buttoned up, short sleeve shirt, sandals. Cool. Don't think much about it. I look at his cart, and his cart, there's only like chips. There's like chips and snacks. There's not a lot of stuff in there. I'm like, okay, he's their dad. Okay, everything's cool. So, they have a dad. That's good. And I hear one of the kids say, they're talking about if they can get something. And he says, as long as, you got $6, if it's under $6. And so basically it turned out like the kids each had a certain amount of money that they could spend on something. So I started wondering, and this is where it's sometimes you don't know, but I started wondering if they were either homeless or struggling or having a hard time financially. I felt bad. I'm like, crap. And, I want to help them out. And so I didn't know, how do you approach someone like that? How do you like come up and say, and have that conversation? Because some people get offended, or some people are like, what are you trying to say? Or they have pride or something. So I was like afraid, but at the same time, I'm like, there's like 5 kids, and I grew up in a family with 5 kids. So, and my dad, even though we always had everything and, there was always food on the table, I knew it wasn't easy for my dad, and he wasn't like a professional career guy that was making a lot of money or anything. So I kind of I guess I thought about my childhood, and I thought about how difficult it was for me, even though I had it better than even them. So I was thinking about that. Then the guy said he's going to go check out. So, hey, get your stuff because I'm checking out. And he takes off. And the kids are like trying to decide. And it's funny. One of the kids says, I want this one, but damn, the bag is half empty. Now, that's the other thing. Have you ever noticed that the potato chip bags are like filled with air? There's hardly any chips in there. And you're paying like freaking $5-6 for these bags. It's ridiculous. So anyway, so I'm checking out my stuff. I'm trying to get everything that I need. I go over to the produce section. I'm thinking about this family, and I'm like, I want to help them. I don't know how to approach them. Do they need help? Maybe they don't need help. Maybe I should just mind my own business. And this is going through my head. So I finally make it to the checkout, and the guy's gone. He's not there. And the whole time I'm like looking for him. I'm like, well, if I see him, I'll talk to him. And I ended up, the lady's like, how was everything? Did you find what you needed? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like ignoring her. I'm like, I'm good. Everything was great. And I'm looking, I'm like, man, maybe the guy's out. Well, and then I started thinking, maybe they're walking home. So I'll see them and I'll pull over and I'll help them out, maybe give them a ride or something. And I'm like in my head, I'm like battling, like trying to figure out, how do I approach someone? How do I ask them if they need help without offending them? And what help can I actually give them that will be of like some kind of impact or help them? Like I want to help them. So, and I'm like, they probably left. And then in my head, I'm like, never going to be able to resolve this. And so I'm classic overthinking Nord, yes, but in a good way this time. Exactly. So now I'm feeling like, damn it, man, I'm probably not going to find him. And I'm feeling like I can't resolve this. And I was starting to feel bad. So I paid with my debit card instead of my credit card. So I paid with the debit card so I can get money back. I got some cash back just in case. And I start walking out and I see the guy. He's right outside waiting for the rest of his kids. They're inside and he's with this little girl still. He's with his youngest daughter. And I don't know what to say. I just kind of like nod and I just keep going. And I go outside, go to my car, put my stuff in my car, and I'm thinking the whole time, I'm just worried about disrespecting the guy if that's not the case and him getting upset. I wouldn't want to do that to anyone. So I was feeling bad about that. So I get the stuff and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I got to talk to this guy because I got to know. Just think about the kids. Screw it. If he gets mad, he gets mad. But at least I'll be able to help him out and the kids. So I start walking back. And it's funny, as I'm walking back with the cart, those kids that are out in the parking lot and they're like, I'll take the cart for you. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I got it. He's like, oh, you're going back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So I'm like getting annoyed now. So I get inside, I walk by the guy and I put the cart away and I'm like, screw it. I'm going to do it. Whatever walk up to the guy, and I know this is a long story, and I put my glasses on my head because I had my glasses on at the time. I don't know why I did that, but just in case he goes to punch me, I don't want to break my glasses. And I said, the only words that could come out of my mouth is like, hey man, can I ask you a question? And no disrespect. He's like, absolutely. I said, are you struggling? And he looks at me and he just like kind of like half smiles and he goes, no man, I'm good. We're good. Thanks. And I'm like, are you and he's like, he's not upset. So I'm like, are you sure? Because sometimes people will say no. And I'm like, are you sure? I mean, it's okay, man. I want to help if I can. And he's like, no, really, I'm good. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And I kind of then afterwards like felt like an ass for saying that because he's all right. And so I had to like justify why. I go, I apologize. It's just I overheard one of your daughters talking about this something being $6 and only having, or something being over $6 and only having $6. You know, it just broke my heart. I got $2 and I thought about it. He's like, no, I appreciate that. No, I'm trying to teach them a lesson. I thought this would be a good experience for them to teach them about the value of money, you know, the value of a dollar and so forth. And I thought that was really great. It turns out I think the kids were homeschooled and that was one of their lessons. I wish I would have done that with my kids. Had a nice conversation with the guy, shook his hand, asked him a couple of more times, are you sure, man? You're good? He's like, no, I just started a new job. Things are good, but I really appreciate it. And it was good. I felt better because at least I knew the guy was good and the kids were good and everything was all right. And I could like just, now, I don't know why I was just stressed and anxiety about that, but I'm not trying to tell you like, oh, look at me, I'm a good guy. But I don't know if you ever come across that situation. So I wanted to let you know that if you do ever feel like that, like you want to ask someone to see if they need help, it's better to ask than not ask, because what if that guy didn't need help? It would be great to be able to help them. Don't shy away from asking someone if they need help sometimes, because maybe they do, and you'll be able to make a difference in their lives. So I think that was the reason for me. But let me tell you, man, it was such an overthinking situation. And I wanted to share that with you guys. I don't know if it makes any sense to you, and if anybody cares about that, they're probably like, oh, okay, can we just play the game? But you know me, I like to talk about things in the morning sometimes, and that's what was on my mind. So thanks for listening.